course out of Blackboard into Brightspace, and I've tried to make it as simple as possible while at the same time learning about Brightspace. Brightspace is a little bit different than Blackboard. So this is what the Brightspace homepage looks like, or page for the course looks like. And the first thing you want to know is you want to know to find or access, know how to access the Brightspace tutorials. So before you start doing anything, you want to take the student tutorial. So where it says Brightspace Help, you want to do Student Brightspace Orientation. And you'll hit Enroll in the course. Now, it won't let me enroll in the course because I'm not a student. But since you're a student, you should be able to enroll in the Brightspace Orientation. And it's going to walk you through what is Brightspace, what does it look like, how do I access things. The same stuff I'm going to walk you through now. But I think this is important that you get sort of familiar with it. The faculty have had training in Brightspace, although I would question the validity of the training. Basically, someone was sitting there on a computer basically showing us click this while we were just staring at the screen on Zoom. So that was our training. I think it's the kind of thing that like you learn better by doing than by just watching someone else do it. So there's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's not. I don't think it's terribly bad considering I found out how to design the course through mainly Google. So if you don't understand something, you can always Google how do I access this in Brightspace, and there's 10 million online tutorials, or you can ask me if there's a big question and I could probably direct you to it. But I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you to navigate because I know it's a whole new thing. So do the Brightspace orientation first under, where did we find that before? Brightspace orientation was over here. Brightspace Help, Student Brightspace Orientation. Do that first. Let me get out of this for now. Go back to this homepage. You can always click on this. You know, if you click on here, the description of the course, it brings you back to the course homepage. If you click on this homepage, it brings you back to your general homepage where you see all your courses. So if you want to get back to my course, just click on this description of the course. Like that, it brings you back here, right? If I want to go back to my homepage for all my courses, click on My Home, and it's going to take you to your general. This is my general homepage, right? And these are my courses for summer. I have courses for fall already set up. I have to change them, but they're there. So if you registered for fall, you probably have fall there. So make sure you're on summer. Make sure you're in the right section of the two sections of my course. It'll be active. Don't worry, it says inactive for now. I'll activate it. Click on this, and you're back at the homepage for the course. So here's the announcement. Basically, I'm introducing myself, and I'm telling you the main thing you need to know are these things in the table of contents, these widgets. Course information is going to tell you where the syllabus is and the registration for something called Achieve. Now, Achieve is the homework program we're using. So Achieve is from the Macmillan publisher, and I've been using a variant of their product. They used to call it Launchpad years ago. I used that for a while. Now I'm using Achieve. I think Achieve is effective. I know it costs money. I understand that. But it's going to get you on track. And it's going to support you throughout the course. And you're going to learn a lot more in the course because the course is asynchronous. And you kind of need something to kind of walk you through other than my videos and my lectures. And I will make videos for everything. There's video lectures. And I will make videos for your assignments as well. And when I make a video, you want to watch the video because I'm basically telling you what to do and how to do it. But this table of contents down here, this is everything you need to know for the course. Course information, if you click on that, let me show you what's going to look like to you, view as learner. So I had view as faculty, now I have view as learner. So you're going to see this, it looks pretty much the same. Click on course information, and there's two things here. Syllabus and Achieve registration. The Achieve is the online homework that you're required to purchase. And I usually suggest to purchase the Achieve program. It comes with the ebook. And that's probably the cheapest option. If you want a book to hold, then the other option is the loose leaf. Or you can rent a paperback from the publisher. If you don't want to buy from the publisher, you can buy from the BMCC bookstore. I have provided the loose leaf version, and it has an access code in it. And you need that access code. So if you buy a physical copy of the book in any form, it's going to come with an access code, and you need that access code to register for the Achieve homework program. And I'm going to walk you through that in a second. Let's start with syllabus. So these are all links, right? See how they're in blue? You just click on it. This says PDF document. This says web page. So click on syllabus. Here's our syllabus. Now if you want to download this, you can hit download at the bottom here. So if you want to download it offline or you want to print it out, you can print. I'm going to leave it like this because I'm going through this on the computer here for you. So here's my email. My name's Dan DiPolo. I've been at BMCC since 2012. I did my PhD at Rutgers. And I have a background in some in neuroscience and then mostly in health psych. So most of my research is these days more in health psych, and that overlaps with clinical, it overlaps with personality, but I am also a big biological person. So I'm very much on the nature side of things. You know, in the nature-nurture debate, obviously nature and nurture both play a role in shaping behavior, but I have a strong allegiance to the nature part. So that's not going to really play a role in research methods, but it plays a role in other courses where there's a variety of different perspectives in which to describe behavior or account for behavior. I have taught research methods since my days at Rutgers, so that's going on a long time ago, unfortunately. So 2012 I started, 2000, it's got about 15 years of research methods. And I've taught the higher level research methods course at Rutgers, and obviously I'm teaching the kind of intro to medium research methods course here at BMCC. And then eventually when you transfer to the four-year college or the senior college, you'll be taking another research methods course. So the goal of this course is for me to prepare you better for the course at the four-year college that you're going to have to take. So I think it's just easier doing it at BMCC because I'm accessible, I'm available. At the four-year college, your professors may not be as available. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I know at Rutgers, the professors were not available a lot of times. I mean, they just were working, they were writing grants, they were working on their research, they had TAs teaching. So the advantage of BMCC is you don't have that. So I am here, you can contact me, and we can go through things, answer questions, etc., talk about things. I'm available. The course is designed to give you an introduction to psychological research. I'm not going to be talking about the APA manual and every single APA rule. I'm going to give you sort of the basics. Okay, and we're going to collect data in the course, and we're going to write up an APA manuscript. And that sounds like a hell of a lot of things to do. It's work, but it's going to be done in pieces. And you're going to get my feedback along the way. And since this is in the summer, it's going to be more work because the summer is only 6 weeks, but it's doable. As long as you do the assignments on time, you're not going to have a problem for the most part. When students have problems in this course, it's because they do nothing until the end of the semester, and then it's like, I want to do everything in the last few days. That generally doesn't work for this course. You must be able to do the work that's assigned each week. That's how you're going to succeed. Here's my email. dpaulo@bmcc.cuny.edu. I respond to email fairly quickly. I know I say like within one day, 24 hours on the syllabus. I generally respond much faster. Even if I'm out, I generally respond to my emails. Just because I bring my phone with me, I check my email, I respond. So I am available. You know, you may not get an email back at like within the next 5 minutes, but I am available and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. I also have office hours on Zoom on Friday afternoon. And if you want to schedule an appointment for Zoom, that's probably better than just showing up because, otherwise you're just sitting there waiting and I have no idea who's going to show up. But if you want to schedule an appointment, that's preferred. Just send me an email saying, can we meet at this time? And I'm more than happy to meet and talk about things. So I am not on campus this semester or this summer because it's the summer. So we're not on campus. If I was on campus, I'd probably be teaching in person. But I'm available on Zoom and through email. You can look at the student learning outcomes. It's talking about IRB processes, how to conduct research. We're going to be collecting real data. So I am very interested lately in COVID. Now, I know everybody's sick and tired of COVID. COVID's all, that's done. We're done with COVID. Well, as a society, we might be done with COVID, but as a researcher, we're not done with COVID. Because there were a lot of things that went wrong during COVID. And there were a lot of factors involved in why some people followed directions, some people didn't, some people rejected the advice, some people followed the advice, and it's very complex, right? And politics are involved in that, and personalities involved in that, and a lot of different factors. However, as a researcher and a health psychologist, I'm really interested in sort of what are the factors that differentiated those that really took COVID seriously and those that didn't, and why that's the case. Because COVID was a deadly pandemic, but it could have been much worse. The fatality of COVID was less than 1% in the population. If COVID was some other disease like, say, smallpox, now we're talking about a ridiculous death toll, and if people didn't take that seriously, there'd be all kinds of problems. Our society would have disintegrated, basically. And so although COVID caused a lot of deaths and caused a lot of illness and problems, even long-term problems, we kind of got off lightly to a degree with COVID. COVID could have been much, much worse. And there's going to be future pandemics, especially with globalization, that, the world is interconnected, something starts up. Now, I'm not going to go into origins and things like that, but the next pandemic down the line might be something that's far more deadlier, and if we take the kind of laissez-faire approach that we took with COVID, a lot of people took, the death toll will be enormous. So that's why I'm so interested in studying it. And so I devised a survey that you'll complete, and I'm gathering data, and we're going to look at the data and look at possibilities of like what happened, like why did people get vaccinated, why did people not get vaccinated, why were people worried and why were other people not worried about it, because that's important for future problems that we may encounter. So bear with me if you're tired of it. I understand. But as from a research perspective, we have to learn from our mistakes moving forward. So that's going to be the central part of the research and the APA manuscript that you're going to draft based on this survey that we're conducting. And you'll have the survey, you'll be asked to complete the survey immediately in week 1. So I have time to gather the data, analyze the data, and, talk about the different hypotheses that we're testing. So you can look through these learning objectives, you can look through these learning outcomes. Required reading, the 3rd edition of Discovering the Scientist Within. This is Lewandowski and Sirocco and Strometz. It's an interesting book. I like these people. They take a very different approach to research. A lot of research books are just kind of like statistical books that have been slightly changed to talk more about research design, and they're just boring. Whereas this book has a little more personality to it. I like the way they explain things. And so you have options. My suggestion is the ebook. We all read off of computers. I mean, we're all staring at tablets and computer screens all day and all night. I would prefer you not read off your phone, because the phone is very difficult to read off of. But if you have a laptop, a tablet, Chromebook, whatever you got, you can definitely read off of that. I mean, that's basically how I do all my reading. Publishers don't even send me like print copies anymore. They just send you e-files, e-books, because everybody's just online reading things. So that's my suggestion, is buy the ebook. It comes with the Achieve. So once you buy the Achieve package, you'll get the ebook with it. Comes for free with the Achieve homework package. The Achieve package basically is an interactive program that helps you learn the material. And that's really important in an online class, because I am not there to remind you or there to prod you on, or talk to you twice a week and ask you questions about the material. This is mostly done on your own. So this program serves as kind of a guidance for that. And it's an important part of your grade. It is 20% of your grade, of your final grade. Your scores on the Achieve homework. And a lot of it's not hard, and you can take some of the modules multiple times. So there's no reason you can't do well on this as long as you put in the work. Now, how do you access it? Well, here I tell you to go to the Achieve Macmillan website, so we're going to do that. Right? And then we're going to click on Enroll in a Course. And you're going to need the ID or access code. The access code is right here, HY7. So I'm just going to select that if I can. It's being annoying about selecting it. There's my course ID. You're going to put the course ID in. Right? It's going to give you options. Purchase access. So this is the ebook. Now you can get the loose leaf too if you want with the Achieve program. But the cheapest version is the ebook. Or you're going to have to start a grace period. This will give you approximately 2 weeks of a grace period, and then you'll have to register. So you'll need a code afterwards. Now, if you bought from the bookstore, then you have an access code. Or if you bought the loose leaf package, you're going to have an access code. You want to enter your access code here. Right? But if you don't have an access code, like if you didn't get it from the bookstore, you want to do purchase Achieve access or start a grace period. This is 2 weeks grace period, and then you're going to have to purchase access. So that might be useful if you're doing financial aid, if you're waiting for a financial aid. But you need to purchase access, and these are your options here. And the cheapest one is just the Achieve with the ebook. If you want to rent the paperback for a few months, you get a rented book with this. You obviously got to send it back. It's only for a few months with the Achieve program. This is for spiral bound, and this is for loose leaf. So I think I gave loose leaf in the bookstore, but if you want the cheapest option, is the first one, which is the ebook. Okay. So let me sign in and show you what it looks like. So once you purchase this, I will show you what it looks like. That's not it. Oh, I'm looking for a free trial. Sorry about that. There we go. Sign in. So you'll make an account after you purchase it. You'll make an account. I have an account already, obviously. If you don't have an account, you can create an account here. Unable to retrieve sections. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So here's what the Achieve looks like for the first week. And you can see that the due dates are here, right here, 11:59 p.m., June 2nd. These are all your due dates. If you see a black book, that means it's a reading. So if you just click on this, you'll get the text that you're going to read. And then you just keep going through it, right? You get the text. That's just the introduction. If you want the first part, you have to do 1.1. So you can get all of this from the Achieve website here. You're going to read through this. If you just want to read the chapter, if you just want to read chapter 1, you can click here, chapter 1. It's broken up into pieces too, but you can actually get it from here instead of going back to the Achieve website, right? The table of contents. So let's say I want to go back. So these are all the readings here in black. You start out with an orientation. This shows you what the Achieve program is about. So you have to complete this orientation. It's like a short video and they ask you questions. Here's a video activity, critical thinking. Here's another video activity, scientific method. This is the learning curve. This is kind of like assessing your knowledge. Kind of like flashcards. Flashcards / a quiz. Here's another learning curve. This is another research demonstration you want to complete. This is the multiple choice quiz. This is another learning curve, right? And then you have flashcards. Just go through the flashcards. And you're getting points for all of these things. So all these things that say points here, these are things you have to complete. So anything with a points, you're completing. Okay? Anything with the book here is a reading. And then you go through chapter 2 as well, right? And then you're done. So once you reach the end of this, June 2nd, you're done. And that's what you complete. That's what you're going to complete in the week. And so there's a a good deal of stuff here. And the reason there's a good deal of stuff here is I'm compressing 2 chapters into 1 week because it's the summer. Normally during a semester this is all spread out, but since we're doing it in the summer, it's going to be all compressed. So there's going to be more work. So I would allocate time each week for your work, because you're doing a whole course in 6 weeks, and I do the whole course. Right? I'm not like, okay, I'm going to cut out half the course material because of this. I don't believe in that. You're doing a summer course, you should get the whole course. Now I do make some accommodations with regard to the discussion board, so I'm not having you do all the discussion boards you would do during a semester, because it would just be too much. But I am covering all the material in 6 weeks. So, but that's what you signed up for. You signed up for a 6-week course. During a semester, regular semester, you have 15 weeks. This gets spread out more. It's less demanding. So every week you'll see a due date. You want to complete everything that has points. You want to complete, right? And you want to read the chapters. These are the parts of the chapters that you can read in the black, and that's Achieve. Then you have your option to look at your grades. If you just want to read the book and you don't want to look at this table of contents, you can click this ebook, and it brings you to the book, and then you can read the whole chapter from here. So if you don't want to click on each individual component of the chapter, you can just read the book where it says ebook and read the sections of the text in here. And obviously if you have a hard copy in some format, you have the hard copy, so just read it. But for most of you, you'll be doing the ebook, and this is the way to do it. So that's Achieve. That's the online homework package. It has to be done every week. Has to be done on time. This is not a course where you can just do everything at the end. So if you're used to doing that in your other online courses, that's not going to work here. You have to do the work every week. And please don't tell me, well, I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks. If you're going on vacation for 2 weeks in the middle of the summer semester, why'd you sign up for summer one? Right? So, like, please do the work each week. Do not wait to the end to do everything, because that's a losing proposition. Let's go back to the syllabus. So that's achieve. Course theme. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Google is not a synonym for research. Okay, so that's Google. Google Scholar, on the other hand, is a good way to do research. So you just don't want to put things into a regular Google search. We're going to use Google Scholar in this class to get actually peer-reviewed research. And I'll show you how to do that with PsycInfo and all that stuff. Use of technology. Okay, so I used to use Blackboard. I didn't change it to Brightspace. We're now using Brightspace. And I also do PowerPoints, and everything's on YouTube. So I post all the videos on YouTube, and you can use them. You can access it from anywhere. And I think the one good thing about Brightspace compared to Blackboard is I think Brightspace is easier to access on the app. I have to download the app, but I heard that it's more manageable. The Blackboard app was terrible. That was the one real negative about Blackboard. Brightspace, I believe the app is pretty decent. Evaluation requirements of students. Besides Achieve, which I just talked about, weekly guide. You must do everything through the weekly guide. And the last date I will accept any late work is June 30th. So this includes any papers, any parts of the paper, the rough drafts like I'm going to be talking about, like the introduction, the method, the discussion, the title, abstract references, all of that. I will not accept anything later than June 30th. Because after June 30th, you're going to do a rewrite. You're going to revise your rough drafts of the manuscript, and then you're going to make a final paper. So I can only accept things until June 30th, including things like discussion boards too. Please do the work every week, then this is not an issue. But that's the sort of drop dead date for any late work. I do accept late work with a penalty, but I will not accept anything after June 30th. Because I need to get you feedback so you can write a revised paper. Achieve, we talked about. Research paper. So this is the main written assignment for the entire semester. And it's a big chunk of your grade. It's 30% of your grade. So during the semester, I will have you do rough drafts. So 1 week you'll be doing a rough draft of the introduction of the manuscript based on the survey I talked to you about with regard to COVID. So I'm collecting data through the survey from you folks, and I have a lot of other data from other classes. I will then have you do an introduction based on that research on COVID. I'll tell you how to do that, and you'll submit an introduction section. I will then grade it and give you feedback. I grade the rough drafts out of 10. So when I mean rough drafts, they have to be good. You want to put effort into them. Because when I grade the final paper, half of the final paper grade will be the rough draft grade, and half of the final paper grade will be the revised paper grade. So when you do the rough drafts, I'm going to give you feedback, and then you're going to change them and fix your mistakes based on my feedback towards the end of the semester, and that's going to be your final paper. So when you submit the introduction, I'm going to grade it. I'm going to give you comments through Turnitin, program that we use. I'll give you all kinds of comments. The more comments means there's more to change. Less comments means it's pretty good. You don't have to change that much. But I will give you comments. I'll say this is wrong, this needs to be fixed, and that's a normal part of learning. This is like what I do when I submit a paper for publication. I submit to the journal, and the journal doesn't tell me, hey, this is all great, we're going to publish it. That doesn't happen. When I submit a manuscript to a journal, there are usually 3 reviewers. And so think of me like a reviewer. I submit a paper to a journal. There's 3 reviewers usually, and they all look at my paper and they all complain. They all give me feedback, and it's not positive feedback. It's mostly negative feedback, and it's not criticism. It's like, in order to make this paper better, you need to fix all these things that we're telling you to fix. That's how the review process works. No one pats me on my back and says, yeah, this paper you submitted is great. We're going to publish it. You don't have to change anything. That never happens. It's always revise and resubmit or rejected. I've had papers rejected where they don't even give me a chance to revise it. They just said, we're not interested in even you revising it. We're just not taking it at all. So I'm not going to reject your rough drafts here, but I'm going to give you feedback, just like I get feedback, and you're going to revise it and then resubmit it to me. And the resubmission is going to be at the end of the semester. You're going to resubmit the whole paper all the sections together. The full manuscript at the end of the semester is going to be title, abstract, intro, method, results, discussion, references. That whole paper is going to be your revision. And then your grade on the paper is going to be 50% for the rough drafts that I gave you feedback on, and 50% for the final paper. And the reason I do this is because I want you to spend time on the rough draft. If I didn't weigh the rough draft at all, people would just hand in garbage. And that would happen. So this is a way to prevent you from just writing crap in 15 minutes before the paper's due, and saying, "Oh, I'll worry about it at the end." No, you're gonna sit and you're gonna write a good rough draft for me. And then I'm going to give you feedback. And the better rough draft you write, the higher grade you're going to get. So that gives me the ability to make sure that you're taking it seriously. So I am going to include the rough draft grade as half of the paper grade. Now, I am not extremely punitive grading the rough draft. I want to see that you're following directions and that you're making an effort. That's the main thing. Are you following directions? Are you making an effort? If you're following directions. Now, the directions are going to be in videos like the one you're watching. I'm going to tell you what to do. This is how you're going to write the introduction. This is what I want. And then you're going to follow the directions. And that sounds really easy and basic, but it's not. Because every time I teach this course, I have a lot of students, not a handful, a lot of students that decide to do whatever they want. So I tell them how to write it, and they completely ignore me, and they just submit what they want. And then I have a problem with that, because you're not following the directions. So if there's one takeaway for this course, there's one thing you have to be good at in this course, it's following directions. Learn to follow directions. If I say 4 paragraphs, I want 4 paragraphs. I don't want 10. You might feel like writing 10, but I asked for 4. If I want you to put a literature review of 5 articles in the introduction, and I want you to summarize 5 different articles, 1 for each paragraph, I want that. That's what I'm asking for. So the best way to succeed in the course is to give me what I'm asking for. Give me what I want. Do not give me what you want or what you think is right. Give me what I am asking for. And if you can do that, you're going to be fine. If you can't follow directions and you just feel like writing what you want to write, then we're going to have a problem. It's going to be a struggle. So please watch the videos I make for you. If there are questions, you can email me questions all the time. I will answer them. If you need to talk on Zoom, I'm available on Zoom. But please do not just do what you want to do or feel like you have a better method. I am trying to give you a simple but effective way to write a basic manuscript. This doesn't mean this is not like submitting a paper for publication. You're novices right now. So I may write my papers or my manuscripts a little bit differently than the way I'm having you do yours. I'm having you do a very basic manuscript. Something that will help you when you go to the 4-year or senior college. It'll help you write. This is also, an evaluation of your writing. If I think your writing needs help, and I'm struggling to read what you're submitting, I will tell you, please go to the writing lab. Because it's better to address writing issues now than to move on to the senior college and then you're behind because you can't write properly. And some students need more help writing than others, but writing is very important. And so I will be critical, but it's constructive criticism. Look, nothing is mean-spirited. If I say, I don't like this, please rewrite it, or this is not what I asked for, that's not me being angry at you. I'm not angry at you. I'm just telling you from a reviewer perspective, please change this. I'm trying to help you with my comments. So do not take comments personally at all. They're not meant to be personal. Just like when I submit my manuscript and the reviewer says, change this, change that, I don't like this, it's not a personal attack. They're trying to help me write a better manuscript so they can publish it. Or if they reject my manuscript, I don't take it personally. I say, okay, I will find another journal to submit it to. It's nothing personal, it's business. This is the way of the world, right? So take my comments as helpful and don't feel, insulted by anything, because there's no insult intended, right? There's no malice intended. And if you're confused, you can always ask me. So that's the paper. There's going to be 4 rough drafts. Introduction, method, discussion, title, abstract, references. Those are your 4 rough drafts. I will write the results section for you. And I will give you comments on all those rough drafts. You're going to make changes. And then at the end of the semester, you're going to submit the entire full manuscript, completely revised, based on my comments. And that manuscript should be better than the original manuscript, the rough drafts, right? Because I'm giving you feedback and asking you to change things, and if you change them, you'll have a better product. I'm not a hard grader with regard to the paper, but I do want you to follow my feedback. If you completely ignore my feedback, then you're probably going to have some issues on the final paper. Feedback is for you to make changes, not to completely ignore. And like I said, if you have questions, let me know. And this sounds all common sense. Of course I would do this. I mean, of course, if the professor gives feedback, I would change things. Yeah, I would do the same, right? But a lot of students don't do that. So, I get all kinds of strange submissions. Some of them I just can't even accept. I just have to reject them completely because they submit one paragraph for an entire section and it has nothing to do with the manuscript, right? It's like, I don't know what they're submitting. So I say these things like they sound like common sense, but they're not common sense to everyone. Class participation, you should be doing the work every week, basically. If you need help with anything, Advocacy and Resource Center. If you need help with housing, they can help students with housing, finances, health insurance. These people are very helpful. I've had students that were homeless that contacted these folks, and they were able to help them find housing that they could afford. Obviously, it's difficult not having housing. If you need food, there is a food pantry on campus. Please utilize it, right? I mean, these services are here to help you. So if you're struggling, call them up, go to them, and see if they can help you, right? That's what they're there for. Counseling center, this is great. These people are very good. And when I was a student, I went to counseling, and it's helpful. You're very stressed, you got a lot going on in your life, you need someone to talk to. Counseling center is there for you, and it's free. I mean, take advantage of free counseling, because you're never going to get free counseling outside of the university system, right? Counseling is very expensive, so if you need it, drop in. You're stressed, you need help, you need someone to talk to. It doesn't hurt. Compliance and diversity. This is for reporting harassment, discrimination. These folks will help you with that. Office of accessibility. I need a note, a written letter, or an emailed letter from the Office of Accessibility. So if you get special accommodations, like you get extra time on exams and things like that, I need these folks to send me a letter telling me that. I mean, I believe most students when they tell me they get accommodations, but I can't give you accommodations unless I get a letter from these folks. And every semester you got to renew your accommodations. So if you had accommodations for the spring, that doesn't mean you have them for the summer. So if you need accommodations, go to these folks, Office of Accessibility, and they will send me a letter about it. And then I will be able to give you accommodations. Plagiarism. So most of the work is submitted through Turnitin. So you'll be submitting PDF files through Turnitin, and that will check for plagiarism. So I do not want copy and paste from the internet. I do not want copy and paste from even research articles. I also do not want direct quotes. I don't use direct quotes because, like in psychology, no one uses direct quotes in their manuscripts. It's not English. There's no block quote, right? So everything is paraphrased, which means you put it in your own words and then you cite it. So you put the information in your own words and then you give credit. You put in parentheses author, comma, year. That's a citation. That's what I want for everything. Paraphrase and a citation of the source you got it from. If you don't paraphrase and you don't cite, then technically it's called plagiarism. And if you copy and paste, that's a big problem. So don't copy and paste. Put in your own words and then cite it. And I'll talk more about that as the course goes on. That's very important. Here's your rundown of the grades. Midterm, 20%. The final, and these are all multiple choice. So you have a multiple choice midterm, 20%. Finals, multiple choice, 20%. The Achieve homeworks, the program I talked about, is 20%. The discussion boards were 10%. And then the research paper, the big assignments, were 30%. And this is half of the rough draft and half of the revised paper. I average those out together, and that's 30%. These are your grades. I do not give D-. I give minus for everything else, but I do not give D-. Because I don't understand D-. It's a strange grade. So there's no D-. So 60 is a D. F is below 60. I do not give incompletes unless there is a tremendously extenuating circumstance. I do not give incompletes really at all for any other reason than that. Because the problem with incompletes, everybody wants an incomplete, and almost no one finishes it. And in tracking down students and emailing them and telling them I need this by this date, or the incomplete turns to an F, and then they submit all the work like 3 hours before the deadline, and I have to grade like a whole semester's worth of work from these students 2 hours before the deadline and submit a change of grade. It just doesn't work. This is not it's not something I can tolerate anymore. I did at the beginning, but it's just, most of the students that ask for incompletes don't need them. They're distressed, or they took too much too much work, and it's not, and also not fair to other people either. Unless there's a severe extenuating circumstance, why should someone have 2 months or 3 months to do the work, and another person not have that? So I don't understand the incomplete really, and I generally don't give them. So please don't ask. If there's a horrible circumstance in your life, then we should talk. And I will, we'll talk about how to resolve it. But my policy is not to give incompletes. And I haven't given incomplete in several years. Just because people just abuse them. Here's the course schedule. It's very condensed. Every week, starting in week 2, we have a different part of the manuscript. So the rough draft introduction, then the method, then the discussion, title, abstract, references, and then the final revised paper is due at the end. And then you have a midterm and a final in here. You also have discussion boards, and you have the homework. So there's a lot going on in a very condensed 6 weeks. Please also be registered through the registrar's office and cleared through the bursar's office. That means, stay on top of your financial aid. Make sure you register for the course. Make sure the bursar's office is happy with you, that you don't owe them anything. Because what will happen is if you're not on top of your financial aid, midway through the semester, the bursar's office decides we're just going to drop your entire schedule, and then you're not in any courses, and then you're really in trouble, right? I can't give you a grade if the bursar's office decides to just drop you because you haven't paid your bill. If you have problems with financial aid, make sure the bursar's office knows about it. Make sure your financial aid, you have to stay on top of that stuff. If you're doing a payment plan, make sure the bursar's office signs off on it. Make sure you're paying them. If you owe them money, not only can they drop your schedule, but they will put holds on you, and you will not be able to register for anything. And they will not let you graduate. You will not get a diploma. And a financial hold, I think, is anything over $150. If you owe more than $150, I believe they put a financial hold on you. And it's a mess. So please stay on top of that stuff. And that's the syllabus. Hopefully that's pretty clear. Okay. The Achieve registration I showed you before. So you want to go into this, put this in your address bar, achieve.macmillanlearning.com. Click I need to enroll in a course, and I showed you that before. This is the course ID right here. If you need more help getting started, click on this link, Getting Started for Students. If you need tech support, click on this link, and there's a chat for tech support. Do not ask me for tech support on Achieve because I didn't write the program. Please use their tech support. They know the problems. Usually it's a browser issue. If you can't get something to work, change your browser. I use Chrome. You can use Internet Explorer, or was it, I don't know what it's called, Microsoft Edge now. That seems to work pretty well. Most browsers work. Apple browsers, whatever browser they use, I forget what they use. That works too. But if it's not working in one browser, try a different browser. And if you still can't get, if you're still having problems, then click on this and get tech support. If it's based on the content, then you can ask me. But if it's based on like my computer won't do something, then please don't ask me. Because first off, I don't really use Mac. I'm not a big Mac person. So if you have a Mac, I have nothing really to say to you about it other than I don't use it. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just don't use Mac. So like a lot of times people ask me about their Macs, and I'm just like, please, I have no idea. Go ask someone that uses Mac. And if it's about the program itself, tech support. Please. This is much easier than asking me things and I just say, oh, I don't know. How do I know? Okay, let's go back to course home. Okay, so that's course information. That's where your syllabus and your weekly and your Achieve is. The main thing you want to use week to week is this weekly guide. This gives you the schedule for every week, this weekly guide. So click on weekly guide right here. This is the topic, week 1. These are the dates. Psychology is a science, the research process. These are your learning objectives for week 1. This first thing is the to-do list. If I click on the to-do list, it tells me what I have to do this week. So this is week 1. These are the topics, right? These are the readings in the book, in the ebook or the loose leaf or whatever version you have. Chapter 1, Chapter 2. These are the assignments. Complete the class survey, which you'll have a link for. Complete Achieve, the welcome unit Achieve. Complete Achieve Chapter 1. Complete Achieve Chapter 2. Complete Discussion Board 1. And I say introductions assigned here. So this is not, you don't have to do the introduction, but it's due the following week. So I'm just telling you when it's due. and I will make a video showing you what to do, right? Probably towards the end of the first week. These are the due dates. Class surveys due this time. Achieve, which is Welcome Unit, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, is due the same time, right? At 11:59 p.m. So all of this is due at the same time. Introduction is due the next week. I'm just giving you a heads up. So this is your to-do list. Every week you have a to-do list. If you want to print this out, if you want to save it, you can check it off. You can print it out and check it off as you do it. Everything will be under week 1, but this just sort of organizes it. So that's the to-do list. Go back here. Intro to course, this is what you're watching now, the intro to the course. I put the link here anyway, but this is what you're watching now. Class survey, this is the COVID survey that you'll be doing this semester. I'm still collecting data on it. This is Chapter 1 video lecture. So when I click on that, it goes to
your online business.
It goes to my lecture, video lecture. Chapter 1 video lecture. So I've made lectures for all the chapters. Let me go back. So if you click here, you get the video lecture Chapter 1. Oh, actually, this one where it just says lecture, this is a PDF. The video lecture is the video, right? So Chapter 1 video lecture is the YouTube lecture. And if you don't want to watch the YouTube lecture, you can just look at these are the slides for the YouTube lecture. So you click on that, it's a PDF, you just click on the link. Here are the slides for Chapter 1. These are slides that I'm talking about in the lecture, the video lecture. So the video lecture is like sitting in class and I'm giving you a lecture, right? But we're online. If you don't want that, you just want the slides, here are the slides. So I'm trying to give everybody what works for them. I think the video lecture, I mean, I made the video lectures a few years ago. They take forever to make. I think they're pretty decent. They're not perfect, but they're pretty decent. And so I suggest watching the video lecture. But if you don't have time for it and you just want to look through the slides, you know, I can't tell you what to do and what not to do. And as you can see, when I click on these things, there's a little check mark here. That check mark means I clicked on it. So that's kind of telling you that you already did this. So I open this link up, I open this link up, I open this link up. Right? So there's a check mark here. This is the PDF lecture, and this is Chapter 2 video lecture. This is the slides in PDF format. These are the links to Achieve. Achieve Welcome Unit, Chapter 1, Chapter 2. You just click on the link. It takes you to Achieve. And then you look at the dates here and complete everything. Anything that has points is something you have to complete. Right, and these are the due dates. So this week is this whole thing for this week. Here are the dates for this week, week 1. There's your Achieve. Let me go back. There's maybe a little bit more navigating with Brightspace compared to Blackboard. It's not as streamlined, but I think it's just what you get used to. I mean, I'm getting used to it, just putting the course up here. It shouldn't be that hard to navigate Brightspace. And then we have Achieve, Welcome Unit, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and we have Discussion Board. So you have to click on this, Discussion Board. And here's the first discussion board. Here's the topic. So I want you to do paraphrases. Okay, if you want to submit, you can click this link here, Discussion Board 1. This tells you what it's about. These are the 3. Please paraphrase these 3 passages. Put it in your own words. In order to post, you have to hit Start a New Thread. Right? You can just put, week 1 discussion or Discussion Board 1 as the subject. And then put your post here. Your paraphrasing. The 3 paraphrasing. And then when you're done with that, hit post. You don't need to subscribe. Because if you subscribe, you're going to get everybody else's post. So I suggest that you probably not click subscribe to this thread. because otherwise you're going to get everybody else's posts and you're not responding. You do not have to respond to anybody's posts. These are just to see if you know what you're doing. These are for me, right, to give you feedback on. This is not for your classmates. Like, what are they going to say? Nice paraphrase? There's nothing really to comment on. These are just kind of like written assignments in a discussion board format. So you don't need to reply to a classmate at all in this course. So you don't need to subscribe unless you want to read what everybody else wrote. And do you really want that? I mean, I don't know. But if you want, you can subscribe and read everybody else's stuff. But just submit, put discussion board 1, put your 3 paraphrases, hit post, and you're done. You don't have, if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe if you want. I don't care. So that's your discussion board. Let me go back to the... Now you can also get the discussion board over here. This widget here. This link here. Discussion board. And it'll give you discussion board 1. So you can also get the discussion board that way. So I put it in two locations. But I'm going to go back to weekly guide, because that's where I'm at for chapter 1. That's your discussion board. The rest of these are all videos. So it says web page because they're videos, either YouTube videos or other videos. Right, mostly YouTube videos. So you click on it, it takes you to a YouTube video. Oh, this one's a PDF. So this is about how to use PsycInfo. And the rest of them, I think, are YouTube. This one, no, this is a website. Right, PDF. So these could either be PDFs or they can be videos. This one's a video here. Battling Bad Science. And you got the video, and you click on it, and you got the
Pizza Hut just...
Right? So it's kind of like Blackboard. Now, in Blackboard, I would put the videos in like a small... You wouldn't be able to see the videos on the screen. I haven't been able to do that yet. There might be a trick to that, so I have them as links now. So that's something I think I need to figure out for the future, how to put them, how to embed the videos in the page here. But for now, you can just click on the links. These are all videos, right? So once you do all that, you're done for week 1. Now week 2, as you can see here, you don't have access. So this is all for week 2, but you don't have access yet. You will have access next week. So I've put it so that you can't do everything. I don't want you going ahead. So I only want you doing 1 week at a time. So all this other stuff shows up, but you can't access it until the date, which is the following week. So week 1 is all you're doing for week 1. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a different format, but it shouldn't be that hard to navigate. This course information syllabus and Achieve. Weekly guide is where you're going to go every week to get the work that needs to be done. Discussion board is discussion board, but that's also through the weekly guide I have it set up. And written assignments are your manuscript. So I will post a video for your introduction, video guide introduction. I will post an updated video for that. And this is a PDF on how to write the introduction. And where it says please submit the introduction here as a PDF. So you just click on this link. You save your introduction as a PDF file. You click on this link. And then you upload it. Upload submission. And that's it. You upload your PDF file. It has to be PDF file so that the program can scan it. And you're done. And that's pretty much all there is, I think, with... and then there's help and resources, which gives you stuff about, the Advocacy and Resource Center, accessibility. So it's a bunch of links here for you, tech support. You can use whatever here. And that's all you need to know. And that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, let me know. You have my email, right? My email's right here. You can just click, you just email me. And, obviously if you want to do Zoom, we could do Zoom. Just send me an email. I'll set up an appointment. But everything else should be pretty straightforward. So I hope you enjoyed the course. Sorry if I made a long video, but there's a lot to talk about here, especially with Brightspace. Hopefully Brightspace is not too bad for you, and Achieve is pretty easy. Shouldn't be that difficult, but if there's questions, let me know. If not, I'll see you down the line for more videos on how to write your manuscripts. All right, bye for now.